Why do so many accomplished women still feel like they have something to prove? Stay tuned as we explore the difference between self worth versus achievement and why the freedom to stop overproving may be the one greatest gift you give yourself. Welcome back to the Resilient MD, the podcast and YouTube channel where we have honest conversations about medicine, burnout, resilience, and how to care for others without losing ourselves in the process. I'm your host, Dr. Anna McDowell, certified life coach, allergist, and firm believer that small changes can create massive ripple effects. I am so glad you're here today because we're exploring a pattern that hides in plain sight for many high achieving women. It's a pattern that often looks like dedication, responsibility, commitment, excellence. And sometimes it is, but sometimes it's something else. Sometimes it's proving that you are competent, proving that you are valuable, proving that you belong, proving that you are enough. And while proving can be a powerful motivator for a season of life, it becomes exhausting when it turns into a way of living. Today, I want to talk about what happens when we stop measuring our worth through performance and begin trusting that who we are is already enough. Many women physicians have spent their entire lives achieving good grades, medical school, residency, board certification, leadership positions, professional accomplishments. From the outside, it looks like confidence. But achievement and confidence are not always the same thing. Some people achieve because they love learning. Some achieve because they love growth. Some achieve because they love contributing. And some achieve because they're trying to outrun a fear. Yes. A fear that says, if I stop performing, what value do I have? That question is rarely spoken out loud, but it quietly drives many people. If you think about it, medicine is built around proving yourself. You prove yourself to get into medical school, to graduate, to match, to finish training, to pass the boards, to maintain certification, on and on and on. There's always another benchmark, another evaluation, another standard, another expectation. Over time, many physicians become conditioned to believe that their value is demonstrated through output: how much they know, how much they produce, how much they accomplish, how much they endure. The problem is that eventually the proving becomes automatic. You continue performing long after you've already earned your place. And for many women physicians, there is another layer underneath all of this: the desire to prove that you belong, to prove that you are capable, to prove that you are committed, to prove that you are serious, to prove that you are not letting anyone down. Over the years, I've observed that many women carry an invisible pressure to justify their presence in spaces that historically were not built for them. Not always overtly, sometimes subtly, sometimes through expectations, sometimes through cultural messages, sometimes through experiences that are difficult to explain but impossible to forget. The result is that many women become exceptional performers, but they often pay for that excellence with exhaustion. When your worth becomes attached to performance, life becomes very fragile because there will always be another goal, another achievement, another metric, another person doing more. And no accomplishment ever fully resolves the underlying question: because the goal was never really the achievement. The goal was reassurance, the goal was certainty, the goal was finally feeling enough. But worth cannot be earned through performance because worth was never something you lacked in the first place. This is where things become interesting because many women fear that if they stop proving themselves, they will stop succeeding. They imagine they will become lazy, unmotivated, complacent. But that isn't what I've observed. What I've observed is that motivation changes. Instead of working from fear, people begin working from alignment. Instead of asking, how do I prove my value? They begin asking, how do I use my gifts? The energy feels completely different. One is driven by scarcity, the other by contribution. As I stepped away from clinical medicine, one of the most surprising things I discovered was how much of my identity had become intertwined with proving. Not proving that I was a good physician, that part was already established, but proving that I could keep going, proving that I could handle more, proving that I could continue carrying the load. And eventually I had to ask myself a difficult question. What if I don't need to keep proving something I've already demonstrated? What if my value isn't dependent on how much I can endure? That question changed a lot for me because endurance and worth are not the same thing. Before we move on, I want to pause for a moment. I'm curious, have you been feeling exhausted, discouraged, or frustrated and not quite sure why? Are you quietly wondering if this is just how life in medicine has to be? Well, I see you. You don't have to give up on yourself or your dreams. And the good news is that you don't have to figure it all out alone. I built a 6-week one-on-one coaching program designed to help women physicians gently remove the barriers keeping them stuck and rediscover clarity, balance, and purpose. It is called the Resilient MD, just like the podcast and YouTube channel. If you're ready, you can begin today. Schedule your free clarity call. The link is in the show's notes. There is a tremendous freedom that emerges when you begin believing, I have nothing left to prove. Not because you've stopped growing, not because you've stopped caring, but because your worth is no longer on trial. You can still pursue your goals, build a business, lead teams, help patients, contribute meaningfully, but you're no longer using achievement to negotiate your value. You already belong. You already matter. You already have worth. Achievement becomes expression instead of evidence. One of the most beautiful shifts that happen when women stop overproving is that they become more human. They rest more easily, set boundaries more comfortably, ask for help more freely. They stop treating themselves like machines and they begin treating themselves like people. People with limits, people with needs, people with lives beyond productivity. And honestly, that's where sustainable success begins. As we close today, I want to leave you with a question. What are you still trying to prove? And perhaps even more importantly, who are you trying to prove it to? Because there comes a point where continuing to prove yourself costs more than it gives. A point where the proving becomes heavier than the purpose. And maybe this season of your life is inviting you to consider a new possibility. What if you are already enough? Not when you achieve the next thing, not when you earn the next title, not when you accomplish the next goal. right now, exactly as you are. Your wings grow when you listen. Sometimes the right message arrives through a friend. Feel free to share this episode with someone who may need it. Next week, we will talk about everyone's favorite subject, boundaries. I know it's so hard to set them, but so important for our sanity. Hit subscribe so you don't miss any of the upcoming episodes. Don't forget to grab the free People Pleasing in Medicine Reflection Guide. It's not about becoming less compassionate, it's about learning how to include yourself in your own life again. You can find it in the description below. Enjoying the podcast? Please take a moment to rate it 5 stars on Apple Podcast or your favorite platform and hit the like button on YouTube. Your support really helps this message reach more amazing women like you. And if you feel like you have a couple more minutes, if you write a comment, it really goes a long way, and I will truly appreciate it. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your honesty. And thank you for giving yourself permission to stop carrying the weight of proving what was never in question. I'm Dr. Anna McDowell, a resilient MD just like you. I'll see you next week.